I was going to say the same, but I'll go Mouse 3-0. I think it all depends on this first game.
Oh boy, here's a Prophet.
Whether Virtus Pro is going to have momentum going through.
Prophet available.
Yeah,
Shannon,
Prophet is
you know what that
available.
means.
So AA, Mirana, taken out by Virtus Pro. Those are two heroes that, well, actually, Ancient Apparition is played by both teams heavily, and Mirana is essentially a ban specifically just for Pycat because he's playing the crap out of that hero. But so he's playing the same with Nature's Prophet, as is Virtus Pro.
There's a couple of choices here. Virtus Pro might be thinking about running the Bat Rider as offlane, which is the normal way of doing it. But if they want the Prophet, Bat Rider is one of those flexible heroes that can be played in any lane. He can even jungle from level 1 if he has to. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them picking Prophet, but maybe they don't want to commit too early to it, since arguably they will probably want to run the Bat Rider offlane. Has Virtus Pro actually got this hero so far in the whole tournament? I don't know.
Not sure, but
so I'm actually not sure
I feel
what they
like
want to
the
do
Prophet, if it's not picked here, it will definitely be banned in the second phase.
I agree.
I think we can agree on that. But yeah, Mousesports going for their, well, I guess you can't really call Nyx a support per se, but probably the side lane along with Treant as the support. We're going to have a stat coming in. Brian's on the freaking ball here. Brewmaster is going to be the second pick for Virtus Pro. And this is a hero that's kind of, it's a hit or a miss in a lot of these games. Either he has absolutely no impact or he's really good in the mid game, and that's when you typically want to win with the Brewmaster on your team. And they're going to take out the Rubik, of course. Very easy to steal Brew ult once it's run its course.
Yeah, he's also good against Bat Rider. So that's like a good multi-purpose ban here.
So you need to get out Shadow Demon as well.
From Virtus Pro. Yeah, Shadow Demon could also be a ban, but
Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, Mouse will probably want to run the Nyx as a core. That's the other thing here, because if they run Nyx Treant as duo supports, that's pretty awful. Double melee without...
We've seen it before, though.
Yeah, I don't think that team won, by the way, the game we saw them in. But, Virtus Pro has had great success with the Brewmaster, so I like that they choose that even over the Prophet, which I would love a stat on their win rate with that, and the win rate of the Qualifier in general, actually. Nature's Prophet. Because I feel like every single game in the last two series, at least, we saw Virtus Pro, the two best of threes. I think they had Prophet every single game.
Yeah, Arsart playing the crap out of that hero, and Pycat for Mousesports, so I would be utterly shocked if it's... I mean, even with, like you're talking about, the Nyx Treant being weird in lane together, I still feel like Nature's Prophet's going to be the pick at some point. But only time will tell. Brewmaster in all likelihood mid, Bat Rider in the offlane, and that is actually pretty big for Dire. We were talking about this, how it's kind of like Radiant advantage nowadays. I believe every team in that last series won on Radiant until the last game where Virtus Pro picked a dual lane because they could get away with it with the Centaur. I mean, if you put Centaur there alone, I feel like you get crushed, but it was against, I think, an AA Doom, which is a horrible combination. So, as Dire, you get the best, I would say, the best offlane hero in the game, most flexible by far in Bat Rider. So, they're looking pretty good. The Brewmaster, we'll see what the counter picks are from Mousesports.
Yeah, maybe Mouse go for the OD that Virtus Pro had great success with in the previous game. It's also one of Fata's best heroes. But then again, at the same time, you could say maybe Mouse don't want to invest too much into just how to put it, into right-clicking heroes without significant disable. They might need a tempo controller made in this game is what I'm getting at, because when you're against Bat Rider and Brewmaster, an OD can be great, but if you get opened on, OD doesn't have enough to offer in the mid-game, I feel, where a puck could give Mousesports some momentum, and they love playing aggressive. They need to be careful that Virtus Pro doesn't just run them over, and God on that Brewmaster has been so damn aggressive. He gets like 1 or 2 ganks in the mid lane, and he just takes over the mid-game completely. When you have a Bat Rider together with that, you've got great odds.
They banned the Centaur, followed by the Razor. You can see OD taken right away.
I actually did want it.
And, well, the Centaur ban is kind of odd, I feel like, for Virtus Pro, because are they feeling that Nyx will actually be in that tri-lane as opposed to off-lane? We did see a core Centaur for Virtus Pro last game, which worked out extremely well. Illidan, he had a couple failings, which were hilarious. Actually, that's the thing I love about Illidan. No matter what happens, he's entertaining to watch,
yeah,
whether it's good or bad.
Player, that's true.
But I feel like the Centaur ban's kind of odd. I mean, just based on this lineup alone, I would assume Nyx is going to be offlane. But OD's going to be mid.
Oh, look at that Hourglass strat from Mouse. Absolutely amazing Hourglass hexagon they've managed to make. And here is the stat, by the way. Virtus Pro 4-1 with Nature's Prophet. Those were, by the way, their previous 5 games, and they lost one of them to Roxkiss. So all of their Nature's Prophet games were in the low. And because of that, Prophet has a really impressive score. You need to keep in mind that many of those picks are also Mousesports. So these two teams are so good with Prophet that we were expecting to see it come out, but so far it hasn't. And now Virtus Pro are actually going to transition into something very different here. Luna will be the choice. And maybe they just recognize that, okay, Mousesports with this OD mid, they will not be playing too much tempo control this game. It's going to be a farm game. We have great mid game and we have great space creation with Brewmaster and Batrider. Maybe Luna can get enough farm in this game, because what can Mousesports really run as an aggressive trial lane when they already have Nyx and Treant locked in? They could put Nyx safe lane and try for some really nasty aggressive trial lane with Treant +2, but now with the Disruptor pick, I think Virtus.pro can pretty safely get Luna some good farm. They just need the right support.
I haven't seen. I'm assuming Illidan's gonna be playing Luna. I have personally not seen his Luna, so we'll see how that ends up. But can you remind me how the Disruptor Glimpse works against Brew as he ults? I know it's kind of finicky.
So unless if I'm mistaken with this, it's something that has been there for a very long time, and I think we've seen it early on one of the other qualifiers. If you're in the middle of splitting and you get glimpsed, then your pandas, after you split, will appear at the point you get glimpsed to. So if you blink in with Brewmaster and you want to start a fight with clap split or just flat out split, and you get glimpsed meanwhile, all your initiation's just gone because you're like thrown away. Even especially if you TP in, then you're just back in base, or if you use the max blink range, then covering that ground that you're going to be thrown back is actually really important. So. Will be interesting to see that for Mouse. Of course, it's a multi-purpose pick. It's also great against Batrider for the same reason, glimpsing him out when he tries to go in. Or, if you're really fast on the button, the Static Storm can be great against both of those two heroes as well. So I love this pick from Mouse, and overall, I just love seeing Disruptor. It's a very entertaining hero.
Absolutely. Ban out for Mousesports is going to be Enigma, thinking that Virtus.pro might get a little greedy here with the jungler. Thinking Shadow Demon might be pretty good. Late game, being able to make illusions of Luna. Obviously, it synergizes really well in lane with Dazzle into those illusions with the Shadow Wave and whatnot. But actually, what do you think about that? Do you think that's... I feel like Shadow Demon just suddenly dropped off for no reason.
Ooh, Doom.
Wow. Okay, so Doom is going to be kind of the the Rock's Kiss lineup from last game in a lot of ways, with the Doom playing as the 1. Of course, the lane's a little bit better with Treant in there and Disruptor. So, do you think they're going to go top with this? Aggressive against Luna Dazzle?
No.
I mean, it's very difficult to get kills against any tri-lane that has Dazzle in there, obviously.
They would have some sort of potential if the Doom was a ranged hero, but playing Treant Disruptor together with a melee hero, I just don't think you want to fight up against anything Virtus.pro puts there now. And the Enigma ban kind of gives that away, right? It's Mousesports saying, we're not going to go aggressive against you, we will just beat you on farm. Doom will safe lane, get a lot of gold, we'll have OD probably winning the mid lane, and then we'll try to get whatever we can with the Nyx top. So Mousesports' approach makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's very transparent though, and the question is if Virtus.pro can come up with something really smart here with their last pick. So Shadow Demon is a possible choice. Maybe you get an even greedier support here.
Maybe just Nature's Prophet Jungle.
Yeah, well, why not? Nature's Prophet Jungle, or okay.
Okay, then. Excellent. So do
I was
they want
thinking
aggressive with this?
Shaker could have actually been really cool here for VP. Or a Sand King. Or ultimately a Tidehunter. Like either of those could have actually worked here, since I can't imagine
Tide as a
Mouse,
support or offlane with Bat in the jungle?
Either, actually. But I was thinking Tide support, which is generally not that good, but when the enemy team picks like this and has very limited aggressive potential, Tide can actually fight in a tri-lane early on. At level 2, if you have 1 point Gush and 1 point Anchor Smash, you're a very powerful tri-laner. So that could have been a choice. But they get the Veno, and interestingly enough, it's played by God. So it looks like he will be going mid against the OD. That was the plan with the last pick from Virtus.pro. They want to have someone who can lane decently against OD, and Veno actually does pretty well.
I completely forgot about that. We were listing, or I was at least, top 5s against OD, and Veno was not on the list, but with those wards, you can pretty much spam them with very little mana capacity, so it's an interesting pick. We'll see how that works out. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a lot about how the start comes down, or what it comes down to in the start here. Whether God gets some help from the Dazzle, for example. I think that would be a great approach from Virtus.pro. Is if Mouse are not running an aggressive tri-lane or any sort of pressure up there, then maybe send the Dazzle mid to help harass a bit in the start, so Veno gets a head start.
It's going to be dual lane.
Because if that's just they're completely messing with both me and Mouse here. I don't think Mouse are going to expect this. So. Yeah. Okay, a little bit of a defensive ward here from Mousesports. Let's introduce the players of Virtus.pro. I've already talked about God, so might as well jump to that. We've got Arsart playing as the Batrider in the bottom lane, as it looks like. The dual lane mid will be JOTM or Jotum as Dazzle, together with Illidan on the Luna. And then in the top lane it will be G playing Veno and NS on the support Brewmaster that Virtus.pro's
love
had
it.
mixed success
Yeah,
with. But
I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
I just like the potential.
Oh, but
of
his
it.
Aghanim Scepter is pretty sick.
So I doesn't even need to buy it.
Actually, no, you do because it lights up when you buy it. So
Really?
That's very important.
Does it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it does.
Oh
it has
wow, that's awesome.
has a little flair in there for it. But for Mousesports, on the other hand, we have Poss going to be playing the Treant Protector, which we see literally every single game. Pycat's going to be playing the one role on this Doom. Misery on the Disruptor. And mid lane, we're going to be seeing Fata playing the OD. And last but not least, MSS on Nyx Assassin. So it will be an offlane Nyx. And, oh, actually, Dazzle with DD. That's pretty scary. As far as, well, he probably won't get a kill, but he has one of the higher base damage for a ranged support in the game. So we'll see how this ends up. Actually, is this going to be a duel to start with Disruptor mid? This is actually... Are they reading the
Misery.
situation?
He's hanging around here. He is going to start harassing JOTM a bit here.
Oh, you see Poison Touch. He's going to get a couple auto attacks off.
Illidan. Oh wait, what?
Okay, then.
Okay, I thought I saw his glaive bouncing there. That's really. I was like, did he skill Moonglaive level 1? I thought I saw that.
Hey,
but
it's next level, man. It's
Okay,
next
he's
level
got-
pushing for sure.
he does have Lunar Blessing. Thank God.
And actually, that with Dazzle in itself and a DD is pretty ridiculous. But it's going to be a duel versus duel. Top lane, we see a little bit of harassment onto the Nyx Assassin. Actually, what do you think about the mid lane overall, though? The duel versus duel.
Neither lane has the greatest kill potential, but just the flat damage advantage that Virtus.pro should be having here with Lunar Blessing. In double range lanes, it's really strong to have that Lunar Blessing, and I could see them getting decent farm on Illidan, but so will Fata. I think it's going to be a wash, which favors VP. You pick OD to win the lane,
Right.
and if they're getting a decent trade out of it, then it's good for them. And this is something to think about with Virtus.pro that they had great success with in Roxkiss in the third game as well. They put some creative lanes, and they actually make it work. In the previous game, they had Shadow Shaman Centaur offlane because they saw a weakness in Roxkiss's draft. And here it's the same kind of approach. How can we put our heroes that is not obvious, but that will work?
I feel like it's kind of risky to do that, too, because if it backfires, then you're playing from behind right off the bat. But you're right. It's worked. It worked the last game. It's working very early in this game so far. And only time will tell how it actually ends up. So what do you feel about the Brewmaster support? We've talked about it at length. I feel like it's okay at first, but you still need to get some farm at some point, along with levels, because, I mean, he doesn't need that much farm, just a Blink Dagger and Ags at some point in the game, but he does taper off quite a bit.
It makes a lot of sense playing, if you want to play it, it makes a lot of sense playing it with a hero like Dazzle, who can play the full 5. He can buy all the support items, because in theory, Dazzle doesn't really need anything. Anything past boots and a stick is kind of luxury in some games for Dazzle. So, with that in mind, NS can probably go for a Blink Dagger, and that's another thing. Support Brew is a lot better now than it used to be, because you don't need the Arcane Boots any longer. So you can actually get the Blink first. And if he gets some pulls off like this in the top lane, maybe we're looking at something like a 15-minute Blink Dagger, which is of course late compared to a solo mid, but which could get the job done if the other lanes work out decently for Virtus.pro.
OD actually getting some solo XP here mid as, who was it? Oh, yeah, that was Disruptor that was in the lane with him originally, but he's going to be fine at least for now. He has an Invis rune on this Disruptor. It's going to run out though. What do you think of, so we haven't talked at all about this Veno 1 role. I guess you can't really call it, in a lot of ways it kind of is, but I guess, can you call it the Luna 1 in this situation? He's mid right now. I guess he's going to be getting most of the farm throughout the entire game.
Glimpse.
Glimpse here onto Arsart. Along with the
Very
Leaf Seed,
nice
absolutely
kill by
no mana
Mouse.
here, and the right clicks will follow from Misery and Poss. Last hit going to the Treant Protector, so first blood going the way of Mousesports. But the Venomancer, as a farmer, we talked about it as mid versus OD, but we're seeing it in a farm lane. I haven't seen this in quite a while. I remember Trixie used to do it way back when. I'm not sure. I mean, it's going to be a pushing lineup, obviously, with the Plague Wars. But what do you feel like God getting all this farm on Veno?
If he transitions, or if he transforms it into the right items, I think it can be very powerful. I would expect him to get a mech first for his team, for the team fight potential, and then maybe even turning into a pipe after that. He needs to be careful against Doom, though. It's always risky going mech pipe on the same hero against the Doom. If you get doomed and your inventory is muted, you have so much value for your team that you can't use, but we'll see.
That's actually funny that you bring up Doom, because does Doom even Doom Brewmaster?
Yeah.
Especially considering he won't be 6 for a long-ass time in all likelihood. As we see a DD top. What do you think?
Oh, again, depending on which items God goes for. If you can Doom Veno early on, that's really powerful. He has so many great abilities to use. Of course, the Gale can be extremely important in fights. So can Poison Nova. We might see a glimpse here actually on Illidan. Misery does not have enough mana.
A Leech Seed upon Illidan as well. Glimpse, not quite there.
Now he does.
Well, a little too late. Actually, I've been underwhelmed quite a bit. It's not from Mouse, but in general, Disruptor play we've seen. Actually, it's mostly Virtus Pro, but the Disruptor in general just hasn't felt the same as it did in the, what was it, the American qualifier.
In Americas, they played it really well, I think. But again, it's one of those heroes where shining has a lot to do with the enemy not being used to playing against it as well. And maybe the European teams are just better at dealing with it than the Americas teams were. Of course, it is a lot about catching people out of position, figuring out their movement patterns, and using Glimpse wisely. But I think VP and NS, who's been playing it, I think, every single game for them, he's good with Glimpse, but his static storms have been...
Yeah.
Has left something to be desired, let's put it that way.
Yes.
Or, the way you like to say it, questionable to say the least. So...
Questionable
we'll
to say the least.
If Misery can pull off some
No,
really
I said
good
questionable
runs
at
this
best, I think.
game. Oh yeah,
That's the
questionable.
correct
You're right.
phrase.
You're right. Yeah,
Astral
sorry.
Imprisonment, Static Storm to follow. Jotun taking a little bit of damage. Thunderstrike to follow as well. Looks like the right clicks will be enough as Fata getting the last hit there. Illidan, in the meantime, not scared at all. Of course, he does play like a man, I do have to say. It gets him in trouble quite a bit. Fata taking a little bit of damage from the tower, but the living armor, so good. Illidan does not care about anything. He's taking another Astral Imprisonment, along with the static. Oh, actually, we're going to have a TP support here, as Jotun is back in town.
Oh, that good old bottle abuse by VP.
Oh, you hate that too, don't you?
Oh god, I hate it.
Yeah,
It's
I kind of agree.
I really hate it. But if it's in the game, it's allowed.
Well,
I
obviously.
just really don't like it. That is going to get fixed. Trust me. That will not stay in the game. It's awful. So just to clarify, the way bottle works in Dota 2 compared to how it used to work back in Dota 1 was that when you're in the fountain, you get an aura on you, which is fountain is working on you. And in Dota 1, when you were in the fountain area, your bottle was getting refilled for being in the area. Now in Dota 2, the bottle refills when you have the aura effect on you. And when you TP out, you keep the aura effect on you for a few seconds, which is fine. But you also refill the bottle. So what they did was they TP'd in the Dazzle. Luna gave her bottle to Dazzle, and since he still carried the fountain aura, it counted like he just had the bottle in the fountain. So he got a free refill. Which is, I feel like it's a little bit stupid.
Well, you don't even
like
have to give the bottle anymore. You can just alt-click it or whatever it is, or control-click it.
Is that enough? Don't you need to pass it over?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Because the aura effect, well, the aura effect won't be on the hero that you're giving it to, so it won't refill.
Top lane MSS will be opening on God here. Vendetta into Impale. There is a TP in from Doom. Very easy kill going the way of Mouse. Let's see if they're going to have to trade for it. No.
Oh, Deny is going to come out for Brewmaster. Very nicely done. NS going to run away as the support. Brewmaster, level 4. Pycat not able to
actually coming back in.
He's going to come in. Thunderclap's going to miss just barely.
That would have been a kill.
Indeed, it would have. So a 3-0 advantage for Mousesports. Of course, it really is 2 because of that deny. Oh, nice grave on Illidan. Going to save him at least for now. But the Thunderstrike might be enough to get the kill. Nice heal. Fata going to get the last hit here as some damage is going to come out from the tower. And actually, Astral Imprisonment going to be used on Dazzle as he TPs out. It's going to be good to go. Now, we haven't really talked about this, but Poison Touch being nerfed in the last patch. We've seen Dazzle a lot less as a result. Had to level up to level 4 to actually get a mini stun there as more aggression here. MSS finally pops his spike here. He's at a beautiful time, dodging the damage from the Thunderclap. Living armor to follow. God's going to pop his ult. But
this will be enough. I'm pretty sure it will.
He's going to eat some tangos here.
Oh, he has a tango, yeah.
He'll be good.
Yeah, that wasn't even remotely close. I'm amazing at this game. Trust me. Okay. JOTM, I'm hearing a lot of spam pings at the top lane.
Glimpse, kinetic field, and the static storm actually hitting it correctly. JOTM, in all likelihood, is dead. Fata, another Astral Imprisonment, this time on poor old Illidan, who is very aggressive for how close he is to dying here. Thunderstrike is going to give him vision. Fata continue with the right clicks. Here comes another Astral Imprisonment, but Arsard is here to save the day. And this is a hero we haven't seen him play lately. What happened? What happened?
Oh, we'll get to that in a moment. The fight is continuing here. Illidan.
Oh, Fata getting initiated on by AA. Right clicks are there. Illidan getting completely destroyed, though, to the right clicks overall. MSS and company going to turn on Arsard now. Can he get away with that Firefly Spike Carapace? So good against Batrider, but the Grave is going to be there, at least for now. And he might actually live through this. Astral Imprisonment now turning on Dazzle. They're going to attempt to surround him. And actually, he doesn't even try to run away. Probably Probably for the safety of the rest of his team, I suppose.
Yeah, so what happened in the top lane at the same time was Pycat was chasing down the Veno and did manage to finish him off with a sniping shockwave from really long range from the Satyr creep. So really nice play.
How often do you see that on Doom with no mana pool at
really
all?
unusual. Now 9-0 is the score right now. What's interesting about this is that the gold lead is really low for Mouse. They're only 1,500 gold ahead, but 5,000 experience.
Wow.
It's very unusual to see this big of a discrepancy between the two graphs in the beginning. Of course, there is a tower going the way of VP, but at the same time, the Batrider is getting a pretty decent amount of farm. He's got 41 CS compared to the Nyx assassin 17. So there's a big difference there as well. And
how does the auto attacks of the Plague Wards work against a tower that is living armored?
They remove a stack every hit.
That's actually very good against it, only because... Well, obviously it gets rid of the buff and whatnot, but Plague Wards are actually garbage against towers because of the piercing damage. It's really good against lane creeps, but absolutely terrible against towers. But now it's actually good against towers as a result of this. So
when you have enough of them, they're good against towers in general, but you need many because of the damage type. That's very true. So
well, essentially they do half damage to towers. Actually, is it less? Do they do half damage to
I can't remember those
heroes?
Percentages, but there's
might even be
towers,
less.
and then there's all the armor that towers have. So they deal very little damage. But the reason they turn out to be pretty substantial sometimes is that you just have like 7 of them placed in front of the tower.
Right.
Then it starts mattering. Or I would say anything above like 3 or 4, then you need to defend the tower.
Well, right now they're using it to stack these Ancients and destroy them. MSS and Misery smoked up right now, perhaps attempting to gank Jada mid. I don't know if that's even worth the smoke here. It's just a poor old Dazzle. But of course they do have a 9-0 advantage. So gonna attempt to group up and find somebody, but the Vendetta will probably run out. Is this gonna be an early Roche here for VP?
Oh man, this is
pretty
such
risky.
A ballsy play.
Do you feel like they need it? I mean, they're decently far
Arsart.
behind. Arsart might be found here. Pops the Firefly.
Who's gonna find who?
Oh, he's gonna blink though. Glimpse is not there yet. Might be wrapping around overall. And Roshan continues. Oh, there's a glimpse in the kinetic field. And there's the Doom. Arsart, you're going to go down one way or another. Of course, the Grave will keep him alive a little bit longer. They don't even need to chase her. There's no way he lives. As Fata taking the last hit. Screw Doom. Nice Sanity's Eclipse going to hit too, along with the Astral Imprisonment. And the plays continue. A double beautiful impale by MSS, but the heals are there from Jadam. And they really can't go back in here because Panda doesn't have his Blink Dagger. They don't have any initiation, really, which is the problem once Arsart dies. And I was going to bring this up. You're seeing Arsart play a lot of off-lane Nature's Prophet, which isn't like the typical type of off-lane, I guess you could say. He could TP anywhere pretty much right off the bat, get those early levels, turn into a hard carry in a lot of games. He's playing Batrider, which I haven't seen from him. Well, I guess you haven't seen it from anybody in a while because he's always banned.
That's true. It's a different type of hero where he needs to be the initiator rather than the follow-up. And so far in this game, he hasn't really been able to find any openings, but it's also a hard matchup to play Batrider into. Nyx and Disruptor are great counters. But Virtus Pro, all things considered, they actually managed to take down that Roche at the trade of the tier 1 mid. I think they're going to be really happy with that.
Yeah. And we're talking about the levels being an advantage of Mouse. The levels are probably a bigger deal there for the Roche than anything else. I mean, obviously everybody has 200 gold.
See a big dip in the experience graph right after the kill there.
I wouldn't have minded seeing them give the experience to only a couple, but it was very risky, obviously.
Yeah,
I wish more teams would do that. You never see that. But it's very risky, obviously, so that's the main reason that we don't see it. A little bit of a push here mid, starting to stack up some Plague Wards. Yep, Arsart with his Blink Dagger. Haven't really seen that come too big into effect in this game so far. And he picked it up like 3 minutes ago, so he had a good timing. Fata going to continue to farm at top. Has his treads now along with that Midas. We haven't really gone over any items at this point. I'm more interested in what God is getting on that Venomancer.
He got the mech first.
Okay, he did have mech. Nice.
Which helped them a lot with securing that Roshan.
I guess Brew is going for Vlad's first? Or is that just a casual
might be a Force
Ring of
Staff.
Regen? Oh yeah, you're right. Could be. How do you feel about Force Staff on Brew?
I think it's a multi-purpose pickup here. He wants to be able to Force Staff the Batrider after the lasso, perhaps, since he might get stunned by the Carapace and then he can't Force Staff himself.
Right.
If that's the trail of thought here from NS, I think it's really, really smart. Else, maybe he feels like he needs more mana. He already has Arcanes, though, so I don't think that's the reasoning here, but Force Staff overall is just a really useful choice for the team. We'll see. Maybe he still gets a Blink Dagger. Maybe he had a plan with a ring, and then suddenly he's like, wow, I already have 1,000 gold. Perhaps I can get that Blink Dagger.
Yep. Tier 1 tower top for Dire at half HP. We're going to have a mounted defense here from Virtus Pro. Of course, the Blink Dagger from Arsart is what Mouse really needs to worry about. Illidan with that Aegis, and not sure how important that's going to end up being, but we'll see. I don't really like Luna with Aegis this early. I would prefer Venomancer, to be perfectly honest. I guess it's not the worst hero.
I actually
Lucent's
think
Beam has a
maybe
pretty
they
low
should have
cooldown.
put it on Batrider.
Yeah, Batrider would be decent too.
He's initiating and he will mostly be brought down, and if he can initiate without using Firefly and can come back with Firefly in his second life, that's pretty powerful. I believe you don't carry it through when you die with Aegis.
Right.
I don't think you have it on you again when you respawn,
Right.
but there are some weird interactions once in a while with the Aegis on different heroes. And Batrider really not one of the heroes I play a lot, so I'm not familiar with it, but yeah, regardless, they put it on the Luna, gives them a bigger feeling of safety, I guess you could say, having Illidan. Knowing how Illidan likes to play aggressive, he might be a good player for the Aegis, because he will commit. He commits without the Aegis, so with the Aegis you can trust on him going in hard in those fights.
MSS, I believe he's waiting for Vendetta, so he can actually initiate properly. They are smoked right now, and this is the combo they're going for. Vendetta with Disruptor. Oh, they're going to see a Brewmaster who is level 6 now, if not higher, but
Level 8.
level 8. So he's going to have his ult. We haven't seen that yet, and, well,
There's the Vendetta.
he's going to pop Vendetta. Actually going to go for Jottam. He's going to miss the Impale, though. Static Storm is there, though. Silencing the crap out of Jottam. That's going to be enough for the right clicks, and NS might have to pop his ult if he's not careful, but I guess he doesn't panic. If it was me, I would have panicked and ulted, so I guess that's a good thing that he's a pro player.
And then you would have microed amazingly, knowing you.
My micro's not that bad, huh, Dane? Okay, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Fought in the meantime. I'm interested to see if Doom is going to get a Blink Dagger this game. I think Initiation is the name of the game here for Mouse. They are probably going to be getting a Blink on Nyx very shortly. Pycat right now has Drum. Looks like he might be going for Shivas or even an AC. So maybe Initiation isn't the top priority for him. If they can get, I guess they don't really need it if they can get Blink on both Nyx and Treant. But of course Treant, the 5 roll this game, it's going to be quite a while till he gets that.
Yeah, I like this play from Virtus Pro as well here, that they know Static Storm is down, they know Vendetta is down, and they're like, okay, they got our Dazzle for that. Let's take a tower. If Mouse try to fight into this, they know it's a really high risk, low reward kind of fight, so they decide, let's try to trade for a tier 1. And then Virtus Pro, acknowledging that, are like, okay, we've got Venom Wards, we've got Luna's Aura on level 3, and we've got some great right-click damage from our heroes. We can go further here.
Right.
And I don't think Mouse should be satisfied with trading for another tower here, and they won't be. They're already porting in. We have Path standing in the Nature's Guise as their True Sight. For Virtus Pro, there's True Sight at the back, but not really at the front. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
very nice
my.
sentry placement here from John. They're gonna
Might
see
get caught
Path.
out. Oh, he's going to get initiated by Arsard. And actually that was the Eclipse used to completely demolish him. Panda Ult was also popped, so they're going to right-click this tower down. Astral Imprisonment, self-made on the Outworld Devourer. Arsart, though, taking the Sanity's Eclipse to the face. Spike Carapace is there as well. And Fata getting very low. Whirlwind used
what a
on
clap.
Doom. Clap on 3 heroes. Misery's going to go down. In all likelihood, OD as well. As VP is cleaning up here at the bottom tower. Pycat resigned to try to get a last hit here on Arsart. Level Death coming off cooldown in 1 second, but there is the grave, so it doesn't even matter. 4 heroes down for Mouse in
5.
Virtus Pro's favor. Trent, did he?
Yeah,
I guess
Trent
okay.
died first.
Wow,
and he even bought back.
Oh, he actually bought back. Wow, okay.
Talk about a value sentry right there. That sentry MVP of the fight gave them the perfect
Not often
opening.
you see a sentry inside trees.
That was so good by Virtus here, and this is the strength of their lineup. The moment Mouse tried to TP in, if you TP into this Virtus Pro lineup and you have to delay your initiations because of that, they just keep taking out one by one. Every time Mouse got close to killing off someone, there was a great clutch Grave coming out from JOTM. By the way, love seeing him maxing Grave. I think this is done way too little compared to how good it is.
I agree. Well, especially
most
now with the
people
nerf to
max
Poison
Shadow Wave.
Touch. Yeah.
So this has been really valuable so far for Virtus Pro. It's not just about the cast range. Look at the cooldown reduction on that ability every time you skill it. That's twice a fight by having 15 seconds instead of 45 or 60. So got a lot of value out of that in this fight. Arsard on the money with the quick opener on the Treant. And when Mouse TP'd in, Fata does not have a lot of intelligence yet. He's got Midas, Treads, and a Null. So he astraled himself, so he didn't steal any intelligence. And then he comes out and throws an ultimate, which barely seemed to scratch anyone.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, he astraled himself twice in that fight. First time was the opening, and then towards the end of his life. So not the most effective usage overall. Of course, the second one was pretty much you had to at that point. NS now has a Blink Dagger, and this is a support Brewmaster we're talking. He's going for Vlad's. And
he almost has that as well.
Indeed. He's
This
only
is
600
really
away
damn
from
good.
finishing that. So this is actually working out really well for VP. That fight obviously helped them quite a bit. And did Luna use the Aegis? I think it just went down normally.
Let me check.
I don't
Roche.
think she died.
Yeah, it might have just expired, actually. I think it did.
So
It just expired.
yeah, the Aegis I wouldn't say it didn't make any difference. I think that's the main reason that Mouse didn't end up taking the tier 1 tower the first time, because of the Aegis. Of course, it's on Luna, which we talked about, not huge fans of, so I'm not sure if that was the right move or not, but Fata TP's out just in time as there's a full team smoke here for VP, or almost full team. And by almost, I mean 4, of course. Fata, in the meantime, going to continue to farm. He's very close to the BK. In fact, I thought he had more money than that for the recipe, but I guess he needs to finish it still.
That's an important thing to bring up, because BKBs in this game are really crucial for both teams. On Mousesports' side, you have a carry OD, arguably. Maybe Doom will turn into a carry, but he's going for drums into Shivas, as it looks like. So no real right-click damage for him so far. And then with OD having the majority of his damage coming from either the magical damage of the ult or the pure damage from the Arcane Orb, BKBs are absolutely huge for VP, and they have theirs on Luna. And then when you look at Mousesports, they're up against a VP lineup who have Poison Nova, which you really want to block with your BKB. There's an Eclipse. There's all the control of the Brewmaster. But at the same time, I think VP are better off in a flat-out BKB versus BKB team fight, because they have the Brewmaster split, which will deal pretty good damage after all. And Luna, when she starts getting a lot of farm, her attacks actually become a lot more important than the Lucent Beam and the Eclipse. Whereas for OD, BKB is the ultimate counter to OD in all stages of the game. He does not have anything against it.
And God on that Venomancer. On top of the mech, he now has about a half Aghanims last time I looked. And Aghanims on Venomancer is pretty sick.
Imagining a Veil
is it like
next.
over 1,000 damage, I think, over time? Something like that. His Blink Dagger now picked up on Nyx Assassin, so that's a huge initiation tool for Mousesports to help them gank. But right now, VP just seems to be content with teaming up 5-man, pushing down towers, which is exactly what they should do. Forcing the group up, and of course God ultimate, Luna ultimate, Batrider initiation, zoning somebody out completely. Brewmaster, I mean, their team fight is pretty damn good overall, but of course Mouse doesn't have, it's not like they have trash heroes for that. They have Sanity's Eclipse and Overgrowth, which we haven't really seen. I mean, the Overgrowth didn't come into effect at all last time. We have initiation on Misery. He goes down before he can do anything at all.
That is an interesting split from NS. There was actually no follow-up for Mouse, but it's going to secure the tower if nothing else. Now Mauser not going to try to initiate. He's actually just going to run in and Tornado.
Good choice.
The Doom secures the towers. Now, you could say this is a huge waste from NS, and I would kind of agree with it. I don't think they needed it, but at the same time, are they going to need it in the next 2 minutes? Where are Mouse going to put any sort of pressure?
Oh, Jottum. Impale's actually going to hit for MSS. Not sure if he has enough to finish him off thanks to the Grave. It's going to come out.
They'll lose Jottum here.
Nice Force Staff from Arsart, which was just picked up. The Leech Seed should ensure the kill, as OD gets the last hit there. And Roshan should be up relatively shortly. And God, oh, he's so
yeah,
close
that's
to
what they
getting
actually would need to split for. That's a good point. And Mouse are actually getting kind of... Let's see, are they getting lucky on the respawn timer there? How short was that? It was like medium.
That was 9,
medium
10
rare.
I can't. Medium rare. It's a steak. Roshan steak, delicious.
5K
5K net worth advantage for VP. And here's my answer. Level 3 Aghanims Poison Nova deals 13. It's not 1337. Come on.
Come on.
Ice Frog.
Balance,
Seriously? Of course, we rarely get to see that on a Venomancer.
And this is after reduction.
Oh,
that's
damn.
what's insane. It's
Damn.
really crazy. Now, they don't have the Brewmaster
So get a Veil
split.
of Discord and you win, essentially.
They don't have a Brewmaster split, so I think they're going to wait on the Roche until that's up. There's no real pressure from Mouse coming out for that. But I want to point out something we don't talk about too often in commentary. Look at how good VP's warding is right now. They have an aggressive ward down here close to the Radiant base. They have an aggressive ward in the Radiant jungle. And they have a good zone covering ward, I guess we could say, around the mid area. So everywhere Mousesports wants to go to meet them in the Roche pit, they will see them unless there's a smoke. Now,
and we saw this last game, too, with Rock's Kiss. They smoked several times.
But this makes the smoke so incredibly obvious, because where is everyone in the bottom lane?
Right.
Where is everyone in the mid lane? They have to be smoked, and VP are just going to use the high ground advantage. This is a classic play from them, using positioning the way they should, and now they could be walking into a trap here. Mouse.
Gale's going to hit 2. There's the Poison Nova, only hitting a couple of those. Statics on the follow. There's the ultimate from Illidan. He's going to get doomed right away. He's going to have to back up, not doing a whole lot of damage. Sanity's Eclipse not doing much damage either. It was on a couple of heroes that... Well, the only casualty here is Disruptor, surprisingly enough, and 2 big-time BKBs were used for Mouse. And the Doom as well. A lot was used for both teams, really.
Yeah, this
but
is a Roche
Brewmaster still has his ult. Keep that in mind.
Yep. Easy Roche for VP here.
Who do you think wins in an all-out team fight?
Right now, VP.
Well, just hero versus hero. Consider everybody equal, if you will.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Let's say the game is going very evenly. Everybody has their ultimates. Who wins a team fight based on heroes alone and not skill?
And not items at all.
Correct.
Just the heroes
Yes.
using their stuff. All right,
You make this so difficult.
does Doom brew first,
Why-
or does
why
brew
do
you split first?
Why do you need to ask so many questions? Okay, it's just a general
Because
question.
your theory crafting is awful if you don't take that into account.
I have to. I have to.
Okay, one team will win.
Very well said, Synderen. Top 2 net worths going the way of Mouse. So they still have the... Well, it's more top-heavy overall.
Yeah.
And it tapers off a little bit. The supports are more farm for VP, so a better spread.
Okay, but to answer your question, if all spells go off, let's
Yes.
imagine that.
Okay,
So
sure.
you doom someone after he's used his important spells, I favor VP.
Okay.
But
So
they
it's all
picked the
dependent
Doom.
on Doom,
Yeah,
essentially.
but they picked the Doom to counter Brew. But
Right.
then Brew wasn't the core. And I was like, oh,
Exactly.
hang on. I think Mouse got really caught by surprise here, and although they had a great early game kill-wise, they never really managed to build a substantial lead as far as gold went. And now, Luna will be overpowering anyone on Mouse easily, and it's not like Illidan's farm is amazing. He's got 100... Oh, wait a second.
And
Nice
Pale's only gonna hit one
BKB!
beautiful BKB. Illidan's Overgrowth finally being used. It's actually going to work on those Panda Spirits. There we see Whirlwind now on Doom. Hasn't got his actual Doom off yet because he's still spinning in the air. BKB is there. Doom, who was it on? Can't even see. Not sure who was on, but Misery's going to try to TP out.
There
Finally,
it is.
Doom is used on Illidan. He's going to try to right-click. Of course, he does have Aegis, so he doesn't really care if he goes down here. Everybody's so low from Mousesports. Tree is going to be the first dead. Follow-up from Arsar trying to get Fata, but the BKB, among other things, going to save him. Up, static. Nope. Okay.
Glimpse. Good
Into
impale.
an impale, but there's the grave. Again, you're
Damn,
talking
those
about this
graves
being
are
used
so
several times in a
valuable.
fight. Misery's going to go down to Luna. And the push continues for Virtus Pro. Are they shocking everybody today? They're playing out of their minds. The momentum is definitely on their side. Mousesports perhaps playing a little bit not over-aggressive, but overconfident in this game. As this might even be a Rax. Do they have fortification? Did they already use?
don't
Oh,
know.
it's off so in 10 seconds. This is going to be a melee Rax at least.
There's the impale coming in. 2-target impale, but Mouse can't really commit here. They've got cooldown on important abilities. I think MSS might even die here. Good Astral from Fata will actually keep him alive, but Virtus Pro, they got more than they came for.
Absolutely.
And God will be the victim of
Nothing. Of a net and nothing else.
the trap, but he's easily going to get
It's
out.
a trap of no damage whatsoever. TP's out here from God, and Virtus Pro, wow. That's all I have to say. This Aghanim Scepter for Venos doing work. Early mech. Are we going to see more one Venos in the future?
I don't know, but it's definitely been working out this game, but it's not Veno itself. It's the combination
Oh,
of heroes
course,
and
yeah.
the overall strategy that's been really smart here. And Virtus Pro, what I really want to commend them on is staying cool. It would look like, when you're in the game, you can't see the graphs. And the question is if they were feeling that 10-1 was really, that they were really far behind or not, or if they had the idea that, okay, we're behind on kills, but we're actually getting pretty good farms, so we're probably pretty even. And regardless, they didn't let it get to them. They kept playing aggressively, they kept finding the opportunities that favored them, and now they're in a massive lead, 7,500 gold and about 2.5k experience. And on top of all that, I think Luna now will be really, really significant. She has the Manta style, will be farming a lot faster as a result of that. And Mouse can't really teamfight into her as long as she has the Aegis. Who are they going to go on? We see all these fights. Mouse can barely find a kill.
Well, the problem, the net worth charts, you're seeing Doom has the top farm in the
Oh,
game.
there's the Veil. Ooh.
He actually got it.
Ow,
Awesome.
ow, ow, ow. This is going to hurt.
Awesome. And of course, if you use it before they use BKB, once
veil
the BKB,
stays through.
right, it stays through BKB. And what I wanted to say was Doom has the top farm in the game. He's had almost no effect in this game. He gets off one Doom, and he doesn't really do a whole lot else. And every Doom has been, I shouldn't say every Doom, but most of the Dooms have been kind of questionable. I mean, on Illidan with an Aegis, he doesn't really care if he gets doomed, especially after an Eclipse is used. So,
He even had it on cooldown there.
but I think
actually.
this game, in a lot of ways, is because Brewmaster is actually getting farm and levels as a 4, which
Yeah.
he just wasn't
Most would
punished
be
early
proud.
game. So.
Illidan going in, starting to pop the Manta here, and this just means living armor is going to be absolutely useless. So we'll just see
and
this.
he has a DD bottled, and Aegis should be up in about 2 minutes, so they have some time to siege a little bit more, perhaps with one more Manta in
Smoke
the future.
behind the line. Arsart will be thinking about this. If he can catch Misery, that's going to be a really big pick. He will. Wow.
As he gets initiated on Misery, taking a lot of damage, but taking the Astral Spirit now. MSS very low, getting the Vendetta. The Flame Break's going to kill him. I don't believe it. Overgrowth now on Pandas yet again. And Mousesports on the run, working from behind this whole game. Static Storm, among other things. Misery, they're just diving. Virtus Pro going pretty much balls deep. Jotum now taking the Doom himself. He'll get glimpsed into a kinetic field. He might actually die for once, so the Doom might be doing something here. Sanity's the Eclipse to follow. The
Just
only
doing
casualty is
nothing.
Virtus Pro. I mean, if you have to Doom a Dazzle, that is not good news. Mousesports 2 dead. Virtus Pro should be able to get this Rax with the DD still activated in Illidan, and the Aegis for another minute. This is 2 racks down for Virtus Pro, or in Virtus Pro's favor, I should say.
Yeah,
Look at the veil of
congratulations on
discord.
your prediction. 3-0 Mouse going out the window after the first game. Very well predicted. Suns fan on the ball as always. Great prediction.
The only reason I did this because of you. Typical.
Yeah.
But right now, we have to be honest here. Virtus Pro,
They're-
surprising a lot of
yeah.
people. They are working with a lot of momentum.
And GG.
Wow.
This is just over. Like,
What a game for Virtus Pro. And this is considered
Amazing
okay.
play.
So I don't want to go too far here, but I feel like Radiant typically have advantages.
yes.
Okay, they have the advantage over Dire in general. We've seen that time and time again in this tournament. Virtus Pro, they get the best offlaner as Dire. The best, period.
Yeah, I guess that's a good
And that
point.
opens up a little bit more for your laning situation. Brewmaster gets a lot of levels as his freaking support.
But then again,